Yo, what's good? This is Oversaturated, the podcast where we discuss music, movies, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm Ralph.
I'm Johnny.
Yeah, and we're here with another YouTube exclusive. Usually we, do the podcast audio only, and you catch the tidbits in the studio. But we try to give you some new exclusive content for the YouTube page. So we're here to review an album today. But first things first. Subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Hit that notification bell on the side, and then you won't miss anything that we put out. But, man, first we have to say rest in peace to Pop Smoke.
Yeah, man.
Budding hip hop star out of Brooklyn, New York, had the new drill sound, as they call it, out of Brooklyn. Murdered in LA. Can't really speak on the particulars of it. I'm not really sure, but I just hate that, because I was starting to become I was starting to become a fan because he was affiliated with, he did a few songs with Travis Scott. That's how I knew about him.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and then he started doing his own thing, and I'm like, okay, it's different. I listened to the album, not gonna lie, because he's dead. Wasn't for me, but
And
I can see why the appeal was there.
Yeah. Apparently, so I'm not familiar with his music at all, but from what I've been hearing, he was next. He was just catching fire.
Yeah.
And for it, for him to, pass away, it's at that time he was only 20.
Yeah.
Couldn't even legally buy a drink yet. It's unfortunate, man. We just gotta do better, man.
Yeah, I hate to see it. So many RIPs we've had in the past, let's say 2 to 3 years of young stars out of hip hop in general, just by whether it be, drug overdose or, violence. So rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Condolences to his family, friends, and fans.
Yeah.
But we are here to discuss the new Royce the 5'9" album, The Allegory.
Yeah, man.
What's it? A studio album from Ryan Montgomery. I think.
Of course, you come with this.
Hey,
with the government.
Hey, listen. If you listen to Royce enough, you know that man's name. He said it in the songs all the time.
That's true. And he had an album titled The Book of Ryan. So
exactly.
Yeah,
so basically, Johnny, what are your overall thoughts about this album?
So I was able to get through this album fully 3 times, which is kind of crazy for it to be 22 tracks.
Yeah.
But I had time to sit with it. But after my second time listening to it, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the album.
Yeah.
After realizing that, at least to me, this album is like a digital book.
Yeah.
And after I came to that realization, I was able to enjoy the album much more. Instead of listening to it track by track, but listening to it in the flow of the album.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It maybe, it's some standout tracks, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You'll get to that. But if you're talking is there a complete cliff and it dives off? I wouldn't say that.
You're right.
I think it's like a book, like you said. It starts out slow, it builds, and it concludes.
Right.
So I think that's where I enjoy the album. But my overall thoughts, the first time I heard the album, I'm not gonna lie.
He's ready to try.
I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it.
But what you doing?
Because it started all slow. I'm like, Royce, what is this spoken word shit you doing? And then, blah, 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 blah. We'll get into all that. But it's just, I think that this is an album that you really have to sit and take your time and enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, especially in our, me and Johnny are from that generation where you had to take an album and kind of sit with it before you actually even talk about it. Now, music comes out like that.
Yeah.
We're sitting here talking about our next album review. We'll hit you with that. But the thing is, it's just, I think that this album is appreciated more over time. The more you listen, the more nuggets that you get.
Yeah. It's just interesting that this type of album was dropped in 2020, where, like Ralph said, music is coming at you so much. Yeah. And it's not full, I guess you can call them full-length albums, but the shorter albums. Yeah. The 7-8 track. Yeah. People dropping singles here and there. It's like...
how did you feel when you saw that it was an hour?
I was like...
22 tracks.
It's Royce, so I know he rapping, so I'm, I'll listen. But if this was
even Prime was shorter than this.
Right, no, facts. Facts. And if this was any other artist, I'd have been fam, come on.
I know, right?
But it's Royce, and I know he rapping. I love Royce's rap, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Man, let's get to the highs of the album. What are your, I would just say your highs of the overall album before you kind of get into the tracks, I guess you would say.
Well, of course, off back lyrics. Like,
yeah.
Royce is rapping his ass off. I really like how the features were placed on this album.
I agree.
Now,
agree.
In each chapter, if you will, the person who's featured on the songs in the particular tracks, in the particular chapters, were placed very well.
Yeah.
Like, super well.
Yeah.
Even though there were a lot of features, they were placed really well. And it's really hard to do that, especially on an album that's so, like, tailored to be like a book. Like, it's, I don't know, it's interesting.
Now, you know what's weird with that? Like, I was listening to Royce's Breakfast Club interview, and he said that he just started making songs. He didn't come in here with the intention of making these songs an album.
That's
interesting. So that maybe is kind of like it doesn't have that Book of Ryan feel, because you know, if you're comparing this to the Book of Ryan, I'd say that this was the better album. Okay. If we're going there, but we're not going there right now. Right. But just, you know, the feel of the album, I would say the highs are definitely like those features. Because you know what Royce is going to do, but you have to have somebody to compliment him. I think the MVP of the album is the Ashley Source. Yeah,
Ashley Sorrell.
Sorrell.
Oh man,
fire! Like whatever song she on, I felt like that was some of my favorite tracks.
And didn't she have a rap verse too? Am I tripping? I think she had a rap verse on one of these songs.
Don't hold me to that. Okay. But I will say that was good. Now I will say this: I'm glad that he had Griselda on there, but he had each person on a different song. Let them shine, because like, you know, the high of the album to me is Overcoming with West Side Gun. I'll just say that. Okay. Like, I fuck with that track. And I don't even like West Side like that. I fuck with Benny and Conway most of the time, but not West Side.
That's interesting.
So I got a song with West Side. I'm like, okay. I think it was the sample. I mean, I think it was something for those samples. Yeah. That type of sample. Yeah. So
I'm glad you mentioned that about Griselda, because personally, I think they rap way better when they're apart than when they're on a track together.
Interesting.
Like, I listened to and I think this is a tangent, but I listened to the Griselda album. Yeah. And I wasn't really feeling it like I was feeling the Benny joint. It's like, I don't know if it was like the production was a little worse, or if it was just when all three of them are together, it's not like, it doesn't feel, I don't know. I don't like the feel when they're all together.
But one thing I will say, getting back to the album, I think with Royce, I think that he has a level of clarity on this album, and it kind of exudes to the music. Yeah. You can tell, like, Royce is 41. Right. But he's not coming at you like some angry old uncle either. He's coming at you like a refined man that's, you know, having a journey. And, you know, some bars are kind of random, but still, everything works. Yeah.
I guess him being a self-proclaimed alcoholic and him coming out of that, he has a better perspective on life and is able to relay that message in a better way, I guess, than just being like the old uncle, like, no, these when I was, fuck all that.
And then, you know, the song with Sci-Hi and T.I., Black Savage. Yeah. Yes.
Now, do you remember that song was actually dropped a few months ago? Like, probably, I want to say toward the end of 2019.
I probably missed that.
So I listened to it, and when it first came out, I was like, the fuck, Royce, come on, what you doing, bro? Yeah. Now, listening to it in the sequence of this album, no, I'm rolling. I am rolling.
Okay. What do you think about I Don't Age?
That's one of my highs. That's one of the best tracks on the album.
Yeah.
One of the best tracks on the album.
And the thing is like, when I think I've gotten a good track, like once I kind of sat with it, I was like, nah, this one the best. This one the best. Yeah. Now, honestly, I think I say Overcome is the best track. That's just me personally, but my favorite is Hero, where he was apologizing to his dad. Okay. Just showing that, like, because the theme of Book of Ryan was all the trauma and things that he went through as a child, and he was talking about his dad. If you ever listen to that album, this one was kind of like, this song was a response to the album. Yeah. Like his dad feeling the way about him putting that business out there. But like Royce said on his Breakfast Club interview, I don't reach out to anybody when I'm making art. Because if I do, when I get into a writing process, I feel like I have to water it down. I have to this, I have to that.
That makes sense.
So, you know, this is my apology.
Yeah.
So I thought that was dope, and that's my favorite track.
No, that's
like my favorite. Like,
see, when you're able to have like a backstory on something, like you connect with it more. So I get that. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to check out the interview yet, but it's definitely on my list. Yeah. My personal favorite is Upside Down with Benny.
Oh yeah,
listen.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Listen,
that track.
Listen. Yeah. Now that the track itself was actually released maybe a week before the album came out, and I remember listening to it when it first hit YouTube, and I'm like, oh no, this is different. Like, why is Royce doing this? Why is Benny doing this on his phone?
In the sequence of an album, I think once you got past like maybe the first 6 tracks, it hit like it's like them songs started hitting. I was like, okay. Hey, I think we're overpraising the album. Let's get into this critique bag now. What are your lows, man?
Man, my first low, man, is the production. I understand Royce was in his production bag and he wanted to do every track. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him for trying. I'm not. But fam,
producer rappers ain't it, because that was definitely my knock. I'm like, I think that's what took away from me enjoying the fucking album at first. I'm like, these beats are like,
they're really hard to get past.
They're hard to get past.
They're really hard to get past. But it's like the level of MC that Royce is that makes you want to get past that.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of my gripes on Eminem's album, because I think
Royce producing tracks.
Well,
the thing is, and this has been a problem with even M and Royce, even though they're on 2 different playing fields, we're just talking about just overall MCs and how people view them. One knock against them has always been production. They don't have good ears for it, but then again, they wouldn't be true to themselves either. Like, I don't want Royce rapping over some shit I like to hear Travis Scott on.
Right.
But then again, fam.
Yeah, like,
work with me. Work.
Like, I understand he wants to produce, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to sound like crazy here, but like, seek help. Like, it's okay to ask your producer brethren.
But you know what's so crazy for you to say that, and I mean I'm agreeing with you, but for you to say that, and Royce is not out of touch like the last 2 albums of people that review like an Eminem or Lil Wayne. Yeah. They're so out of touch when they make music. When they come back, the shit just be all over the place. Even though, you know, we enjoyed the last Eminem album, not to go too far off, but it's kind of like Royce is in tune with the culture. He knows what's going on. He's not. You know, so it's like you can kind of figure out the produce thing, my guy.
I mean, you would think.
I would think so. Yeah,
then we get this.
Yeah.
But, and see, that speaks to the level of MC that Royce is. Yeah. But because he's so fire at rapping, that we're like getting past these beats. Because listen, if your beat trash, I'm not going to listen to your song.
Yeah,
It's
hard.
That's me though.
Yeah.
That's me.
It's tough. I would say my least favorite track, I want to say it's trash, was the one with Crooked Eye. Trap.
Okay.
I like Royce's verse. I didn't like Crooked's verse. I didn't think it went with what Royce was doing.
Gotcha.
But that's just me. And I think Crooked was, you know, I think it was a lazy verse. I think it was kind of like, I just gave here's a verse for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't hate that take. I think
that's just how I feel about that
one. The intro. Listen, now granted, I like this. I like the spoken word aspect. I like that. But I think it was too long. I think his spoken word piece was too long.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what I was expecting for an intro from Royce, but I was expecting that, and then that's where my disappointment for the album started, because I thought Dope Man was.
That was the next one. It's like to go from that intro that was too long in my opinion to a song like Dope Man. It's like, ooh. Like, this is a terrible start to an album.
Yeah.
Like, terrible start.
It's like, you know, you're running a race and you get out the blocks bad.
Oh, man.
That's what was going on. Finished the album strong, in my opinion. But, like you said, it was a slow build.
Right. Now, my other low is that the songs don't make too much sense if you just go listen to them individually. Like, there are very few songs on this 22-track album that I'll go and just pull out and want to listen to.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. Like, of course, I'll listen to Upside Down.
Yeah.
Maybe there's 2 other tracks, but like 3 out of 22, that's a very low percentage.
But I will say this, I didn't skip any tracks.
Well, it's almost like you can't if you listen to it in sequence.
Yeah.
Because then the album will feel weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you listen to all or you listen to none. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And do you have the hour and how many other minutes?
I listen to it at work. This is not a in the whip album. I will keep it.
Oh no.
You do not
Definitely
drive
not.
to listen to this shit.
Definitely not.
You have to sit still, somewhere like incense or some shit like that's.
Because you really gotta hear what he's saying.
Fact.
Like you can't just throw it on and keep doing something. Like you can't. I can't clean the house to this album.
Agreed.
Can't clean the house to this album.
Agreed.
So.
Oh man, so I think this is. I don't know if this is a low of the album. I'll say this for the career take.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about just the album? What is your rating of it? That's what I'm getting at.
So out of 5,
yeah, out of 5 OSs,
I think I'm giving this 3 OSs.
Okay.
It's not a bad album at all.
Yeah.
But the production hinders it so much, and the fact that you really can't listen to any tracks by themselves.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna give this a great rating. I'm gonna say it's a 3.5 actually.
Okay.
But I think I enjoyed what Royce did with a lot of the features on here. Like I didn't even mention Kid Vicious.
Facts.
Like,
hey, Vince Staples went off too.
Yes.
Hey.
Like these features are greatly placed on this album. So it's I'm giving the album 3.5 that I probably won't revisit.
I know it's crazy.
That's crazy. Like this
nuts.
album is good. Don't get me wrong, but I probably
nuts.
this shit has low replay value to me.
It's going to be interesting once we get to the end of the year and we do like our top 5 albums.
Yeah. Now that's interesting. I'm glad you went there because people are starting to give this album of the year. I mean, it's February, but
right.
People are giving this album of the year so far accolades.
I really hate to do this right now.
I'm not gonna do it.
Which album is better?
Mm-hmm.
This or Music to Be Murdered By? Come on, say it. You gotta. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to say this because I gave this a high rating of Music to Be Murdered By.
I gave that 3.
I gave that a 3.
I think I did 3.5.
Yeah, you gave that 3.5.
I really
going off of that. It sounds like you would go Eminem.
I think I'm going Eminem,
mm-hmm.
and it's on. And the main reason
mm-hmm.
is because there are songs I could pull from that album and just throw on.
Well, I'll give you that then.
Like that's.
I'll give you that.
Other than that, like.
I don't have too much of an argument on that.
Yeah.
But now it's time to talk about Royce and his career overall, right?
Let's do it.
One thing I will say, Royce is a talented MC, a talented wordsmith. He's gracing to being an elder statesman in hip hop.
Yep.
One of the forefront, one of the people that was kind of in the forefront of the Detroit, mainstream movement because Detroit had a sound, but it wasn't really out there, really pre-Eminem. I know that there was people out there. Don't get me wrong. Don't kill me. But this is just my POV of things. And then I watched Hip Hop Evolution. I saw what happened. But Royce really is probably one of the most underrated MCs of all time.
That I agree with.
I would say probably one of the most underrated. I mean, for you to kind of go bar for bar with Eminem anytime you can, which is not easy to do.
Since what, 99? Was he on the Slim Shady LP? As Bad Meets Evil?
Probably so.
Yeah, like he's been out the same amount of time, if not longer than Eminem,
mm-hmm.
and for him to still have the same caliber of rhymes from being a self-proclaimed alcoholic to being a sober Royce now and maybe even rapping better.
Yeah.
That you can argue.
And the thing is, like you said, he's rapping better now, and I don't think he ever really had like a dry spell like some of our MCs have. Like you can point at Jay and say, this ain't it, fam. You can point at M and say, this ain't it, fam. You can definitely point at Wayne and say, this ain't it, fam.
Right.
Like so. But Royce is the second. Like he's younger than Jay and younger than M.
Okay.
But he's never had like. If you look at the career trajectory of Royce as far as the way he raps,
mm-hmm.
it's never really hindered. Like it's never really been bad.
Yeah, and I would even say it's increased. Like with every project. Yeah. Like it's insane. Yeah. It's insane. And what other artists can you say that about?
I'm not really sure.
Like
that just really gets like, but he's had the sustainability to do it by himself for a long time. Yeah, which is very difficult.
Facts. That's very difficult. That's what happens when you stay the course. When you trust in your craft and you that cold and you that cold.
Yeah,
just keep pushing.
Now I will say this: I hate that Royce is an Eminem apologist. It seems like he always, like, I know that's your man's, that's your friend. He seems like he's more of Eminem's mouthpiece sometimes because Eminem doesn't talk publicly.
True.
So it's like anytime Royce is, well, Marshall this, Marshall that, nigga, what about you? And that's just, maybe that's a personal thing, but I just see that a lot. Like, even there was an Eminem skit on this album.
True. But I mean, a lot of people don't really, I don't want to say mention, but they don't really talk about Royce like that for real.
Yeah.
So it's like he doesn't really have to say anything about himself.
But it's I would think it's frustrating, right? Like, I know that's my friend and everybody knows him, so, but it feels like anytime Eminem says something or does something, Royce is the one that says something. Eminem doesn't say shit unless he gets on the booth, on the booth and say something.
I don't know.
Like, I just hate that Royce uses his.
Or could it be that whenever Royce is out, promoting or whatever, they ask him about Eminem? Or is he like voluntarily?
Well, it comes off in the music and like, I mean, you can see it in both areas, the PR and in the music.
Yeah.
He said I wish Marshall wouldn't respond all the time. He said that in the song.
He did say that.
Why does he have to? Why are you saying this?
But Marshall only responds in songs. Royce responds in songs and talking.
But why is Royce always going to bat for him?
Hey,
like
that's his man's. That's his man's.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I just hate it. Like, I think Royce is a talented enough MC to where he doesn't have to, go to bat for somebody that's, the bully anyway. Like, Eminem can hold his goddamn own. I think that's the part that really agitates me. You built this career off going at people. Now it's kind of like it's like Royce is kind of like the mouthpiece when you should be the one addressing the bullshit that you stirred up.
Right.
Like, I think it's like a situation between Yellow Wolf and Eminem.
That was gonna be my next.
so it's like that stuff.
Because he went off on Yellow Wolf. I was like, yo, what's happening?
Why are you like? He just dropped it. Like, M just dropped an album. Why?
And you know what? Didn't mention Yellow Wolf one time, but mentioned Machine Gun Kelly twice. I think twice. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's just my take.
Yeah. Man, that's all I got, man. You got something else?
No. I would say that this is probably one of Royce's better albums. I think it's better than Book of Ryan. I think it's up there with Layers.
Okay.
Because Layers was a very good album, and it's so weird. Like you said, Royce is 41. This is his 8th studio album, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you find a way to get more and more personal every time?
Hey, man.
It seems like, what are you holding back when you?
I think I heard him say in a previous interview, maybe a year or two ago, that ever since he became sober, memories of things have started coming back. Mm-hmm. So it's like the more memories he gets, the more inspiration he gets to do more music. Okay. So I think that's what's happening, starting with Layers. Like, I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
So, shout out to you, Royce, man.
Yeah, salute to you, Royce. Like, we just sit here and nitpick your album, but this is a great album, man. Like, I just wish you find some other beats.
You need a producer, creator,
executive producer, because I'll pick the beats. Like, hey, fam, this. How can I be an EP? Like, I'm gonna tell Royce, like, hey, look, fam, this is what we gonna do.
Oversaturated records. It's coming. It's coming soon. We coming for you, East. All right, so that's our review of the Allegory. Shout out to Royce the 5'9". Yes. Let us know how y'all feel about the album, what y'all will rate it, how many OSs out of 5.
Yep.
And we'll catch y'all on the next album review.
All right, peace.